welcome
to this week's edition, episode 194 of Doctor Who Time and Space, a weekly Doctor Who podcast hosted by me, Lewis Moon,
and me, Dr. Cool,
where we host this every Saturday, running down all you need to know from the past 7 days, as well as an insight on other things we've been thinking about from the Whoniverse, including another episode which we've been watching. And, sometimes you could be joining along with us watching it.
Excellent. Cool, what do we have on this week's show then of wonderful things from the last 7 days of the Whoniverse and other stuff that we've been doing?
So, this week we have our look back at our 6 episode challenge, part Through the Decades Part 2, where we will be looking at our 6 each favourite stories from the 1970s.
Ooh, we'll be giving our thoughts on the Matt Smith episode of the Rings of Akhaten. Or the Akhaten.
I can't remember. We have the latest news and views.
We will be pressing the magic randomizer.
And who knows, we may have a 3-minute rant.
Who knows?
Who
We try and keep this podcast where possible to probably an hour to an hour and 10 minutes, and we've been finding of late that we've not had time for either our 3-minute rants or our Who to Faces, so we'll see how we get on this week. But I guess one thing is for sure, we're probably fairly light on news, I would imagine, at this time of the year.
I've had to make up some news.
You've made up some news?
No, I haven't made up any news. I've just put together some detailed data stats from Return of Doctor Mysterio, actually.
Ooh, okay. Well, before we get on to that then, what have you been up to in terms of stuff that's Who related or more generally geeky?
I'll let you know I've not been feeling very well this week.
You haven't, have you?
No.
There's earlier in the week on YouTube you posted a Sherlock video.
Yes,
I'll
I
probably talk
did.
about it a little bit later, but you're obviously very coldy in that one because you're coughing and spluttering and
yes.
you sound
there
really
was
hoarse.
over a minute of coughing which we edited. Well, Decool edited it out.
Yeah.
So as I was off for a couple of days, I thought it's a brilliant time to catch up with some of my Doctor Who's that I'd had for Christmas. And first of all, over the week I started, I finished off the Space Museum. Now, the Space Museum had a good first part, as I've incited before. However, when it got to the second and third parts, they were a bit samey.
Yeah.
But the fourth part was actually quite interesting.
Okay.
It does actually lead directly into the next story, which I watched, The Chase.
And you've seen that one before, haven't you?
Yes,
The Chase?
I have. Only once, but
Right, okay.
It's good to have it. I have it now, and I can watch it. It's quite different, The Chase,
Yeah.
It's the Doctor escaping from Daleks and going to various different locations.
Okay.
So they go to the Mary Celeste, and they go to the Empire State Building, and they go to a haunted house and stuff.
Oh, okay, right.
There's a part where they're just escaping from each other in various places
That sounds exciting.
It is very exciting,
Yeah.
And
That's
then,
quite odd for them in that period of time as well, didn't they? Presumably they're not on location. Presumably
No.
they're backdrops of these places. I would
probably,
suggest.
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But can you remember the mechanoids?
I remember them by name, but I can't think what they look like off the top of
Those
my head.
big domed square.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. With the flamethrower.
Yeah.
They're actually only in one part of it. They're
Okay.
actually famous for being in that story.
Yeah.
However, they were only in one part.
Okay.
Plus one cliffhanger.
Yeah, it does happen sometimes, don't we? I
Yes,
guess.
I know.
I guess we think of probably the one that really springs out to me. Although I've not. I don't remember watching this episode, but I may have when I was growing up. Is the Routons.
Yes.
Sort of similar sort of thing, isn't it? We don't really see them, I believe, until near the end.
You don't, no.
Yeah.
You don't see them until about 10 minutes to the end of part 4.
Yeah. Strange.
It's like
Very strange.
It's like Invasion of Time. Remember when the Sontarans who are the main villains don't appear until the end of episode 4.
Yeah, and I really like that scene.
Yes.
Actually, I mean, it's not. I wouldn't have it anywhere near my sort of classics. I think it's. I don't think necessarily the Invasion Time is a brilliant story. I think you like it a lot more than me. Actually.
I do, but it's not on my list or anything. Spoilers.
But it's that bit of it, that scene is great. When the Sontans first came in, I imagine that would have been a bit of a shock for the first time when people watch it.
Yes, definitely, if it hadn't been announced.
Because we were talking the other day. I know it's a little bit of a little bit of a tangent, but we like tangents on this show.
We do, yes, and it's the opening bit.
Well, we were talking a little bit about the whole thing that these days it's very difficult to watch something without there being a spoiler. Where we were talking about that in particular was the next time came on for the Rings of Akhaten.
Yes.
And it went to the Cold War with the Ice Warriors in, but you didn't have the Ice Warriors in the trailer. We knew the Ice Warriors were in that before we watched it all that time ago because we'd read about it in the press. Whereas in the 70s, probably I'm imagining people wouldn't have known it, and it would have been, well, the Ice Warriors are in it. That's
what I always think. I always think, like, say the Curse of Peladon. Mm-hmm. Did you know that the Ice Warriors were going to be in it? Because the thing is, there were newspapers and stuff, but there were no like computers to access internet on,
right.
Which the internet is the way how most spoilers come out.
Yeah, no, it's right. It's really changed.
And if it's in the newspapers, it's sort of as an announcement of news rather than spoilers.
And I think it probably goes. I think where they wanted people to know that a villain was in it, like if you look at it, a lot of the Dalek episodes are something of the Daleks, and I think that's because they wanted people to know the Daleks were in it because they wanted them to watch it because the Daleks were in it.
Tomb of the Cybermen.
Yeah, I think.
Sontaran Experiment.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the case sometimes, but then you get other ones where I think they wanted the shock factor, and it's a shame.
Terror of the Autons.
It is the shame, really, that we have lost that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I mean,
Time and the Rani.
Yeah. There's times where they do manage it.
Yeah.
But even with some of these things where the shows do manage it really well, and I'm thinking actually, I mean, Doctor Who managed to keep a few secrets around the 50th, I thought, really,
they did,
really well.
yeah, like John Hurt and stuff.
Yeah. Game of Thrones usually manages to do it fairly well, although they've had a few issues this time around. Walking Dead manages to do it fairly well, but even when you take the whole Walking Dead Negan thing with him beating people up, people did know about it. There were things going on the internet. It's just
no spoilers.
Yeah, I think if we were trying, if you were trying to avoid it, then you could. But I remember with Game of Thrones actually, with a certain death that happens at the end of season 5. The Mirror had that as their headline news before anybody had watched it, which is a bit of a spoiler. Yeah, they then took it away and changed it.
Did they?
Yeah, but initially it was the headline news XXX with the name of the character.
Yes.
Dead or something like that.
God.
Yeah.
Some people don't.
Yeah, so I'm sure they got really, a lot of people would have been really riled by that.
Yes, so Space Museum and Chase this week.
Yeah.
Also my audio Sirens of Time, part 3 with Colin Baker.
Which of the 3 Doctors has been best of those?
I don't know.
Any real preference?
I don't know. Sylvester McCoy.
Yeah?
I mean, I just, well, I suppose it put an effect on me because I couldn't understand it as well the other night because I was almost dropping to sleep because I was so tired.
Yeah.
Because it was on the night of, it was on one of my nights when I was ill. So.
Yeah. Thing is with you don't like changing things, do you? So if you, even if you're ill, and it's the night when you'd normally listen to a Big Finish thing, you'll still fight and try and do it anyway, won't you?
Yeah, I was. I listened to my Big Finish thing.
So, anything else to report?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Nothing from you this week?
I was saying to you earlier on, wasn't it? I think the only thing I've watched on telly all week, I think my telly has literally only come on once, and that was when I was watching the Bowie things last.
Oh yes.
Whenever.
Saturday?
I think it was on the 9th, wasn't it?
Or was
I watched it the day after, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I watched
Sunday.
it the day after. I think I watched it on the 9th.
Well, that means it would be 2 days after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. But anyway, I watched the last 5 years, and that's I think the only time I've put the TV on. I've mainly
Really?
been doing sort of photo editing and things like that. So.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
TV's
then.
I've been on. So,
Yeah.
so nothing really from me. So on that basis, I think we can probably crack on with the small amount of news that we have.
Yeah. Okay then. Doctor TV then have released a bunch of verdicts and details about Return of Doctor Mysterio, this year's Christmas special.
Okay.
The amount of times we talked about Return of Doctor Mysterio is fantastic. Is fantastic now. Makes me look professional. Sound professional. The Return of Doctor Mysterio we've talked about for quite a while now. Here we are. You can see my cough there.
It'd
Right.
be interesting to see what happens. It's lucky we weren't there when we were recording that, when you were doing your recording of the Sherlock episode, and you had that 1 minute coughing fit in the middle of the episode.
Yes.
And you sort of said to me afterwards, "Can you please cut that out?" But
Yeah.
obviously, well, we can still cut it out actually, because we do record this podcast. So
Good
we
job
can-
it
we could
isn't
quickly-
live.
quickly- but we try not to edit it as possible. We like it to be raw and meaty.
Yes.
Right, onwards and upwards.
Okay then, so we know that Heaven Sent is at the top of the 2015 and 16 chart here. And at
Sorry,
the bottom
for what?
for Series 9 and
Oh, for video numbers.
for quality in
Oh, right,
Doctor
sorry. Yeah,
TV's
okay.
rankings.
Heaven Sent.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'd agree with that.
Zygon Inversion second, Face the Ravens third, Witches Familiars fourth, Magician's Apprentice is fifth, Under the Lake is sixth, seventh is Zygon Invasion, eighth is Before the Flood, 9 is The Husbands of Riversong, 10 Hellbent, 11 Woman Who Lived, 12 Girl Who Died, 13 Return of Doctor Mysterio, and 14 is Sleep No More. So it has a score of 6.970.
That's really, really low, isn't it? That surprises me as low as that.
I agree that it's below Husbands of River Song.
But it surprises me. I mean, I don't. I prefer it to 2. But it surprises me that it's below, say, the Viking one.
Yeah, I know. I prefer Return of Doctor Mysterio
Yeah.
than Girl Who Died. I prefer Return of Doctor Mysterio to Sleep No More.
I
Much.
reckon that if you were to put a whole load of non-Who fans in a room and lock the door so they can't escape and force them to watch all of those episodes, it would be a completely different order.
It would, yeah.
And I reckon that one, Return of Doctor Mysterio, would come up near the top somewhere.
But then the chances are that they become Who fans then, so they'd have similar opinions.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but I do think that would be a completely different ranking, because I think probably a lot of people that aren't dedicated Whovians would have really, really enjoyed it, the Christmas special.
I much preferred Husbands of River Song, so I agree with that fact. Interpreting the score then, it is actually below Voyage of the Damned in this chart. And
What is the chart for?
This is for overall in the revival.
Okay, of Christmas episodes.
No, overall.
Oh, overall.
overall.
Okay.
And so it places 95th, and that's above Dinosaurs on the Spaceship.
Yeah. It's definitely
So-
better than that.
Yeah, near it, Cold Blood, Hungry Earth, and then near it, above it, Gridlock and the Shakespeare Code.
Okay.
Performance score.
What does performance score mean?
I don't know, I'm going to skip that one. Okay, so Christmas special ranking then.
Yep.
So at the top we've got A Christmas Carol.
Okay.
Second we've got The Snowmen.
Yeah.
Third we've got Last Christmas.
Yeah.
Fourth we've got The Husbands of River Song.
Okay.
Those three are my top three. Time of the Doctor at fifth. Sixth Christmas Invasion. Seventh End of Time Part 1. Eighth The Runaway Bride. Ninth Voyage of the Damned. 10th Return of Doctor Mysterio. 11th The Next Doctor. And 12th The Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe. What a surprise.
And again though, that's quite a surprising poll because if you go back through that, the top few, aside from actually the top 5 is it, are all Stephen Moffat Christmas ones.
Yeah, they are.
Which goes completely against the thing we were reading the other day, wasn't it? Which was indicating that the RTD one's better.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's odd. I think it does depend on which audience base you're looking at.
So, top 10 divisive episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have here that it is the 5th highest New Who divisive story.
Really? That surprises me. What's top?
Well, I'll reveal it in... Okay, don't
Okay.
look. At 10th, it's The Wedding of River Song.
Okay.
At 9th, it's The Husbands of River Song.
Uh-huh. And there's a theme going on here.
Yes. At 8th, it's In the Forest of the Night.
Uh-huh.
At 7th, it's Fear Her.
Yeah.
At 6th, it's The Rings of Akhaten.
Uh-huh.
At 5th, it's The Return of Doctor Mysterio. At 4th, it's The Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe. At 3rd, it's Love and Monsters. At 2nd, it's Sleep No More. And at 1st, it's Hell Bent.
Okay, no, that doesn't surprise me actually.
No, it was quite a divisive story.
That doesn't surprise me because I think if you take one like Hal Bent, it looked fantastic.
It did.
I think probably I've not watched Hal Bent since it was on, and I really enjoyed it when it was on. But I think when I've watched things where they've been critical of it after the event, I've looked back and thought, well, yeah, I can see where they're coming from that. So it'd be interesting to see where I would place it now.
Yes.
Whether it'd be as high
It's
in
a
my
better
chart.
story than people say.
Yeah, yeah.
So, verdict overall then. It's a technically good but relatively substandard score of 6.970.
Mm-hmm.
23rd best 12th Doctor story out of 27. 10th best Christmas special out of 12. Second worst Doctor Who episode in 2015 or 2016. 95th best episode in the revival out of 131. And an alarmingly high standard deviation of 2.487. The 5th most divisive episode in history, and the top 10 most divisive episodes, 5 now come from Capaldi's tenure. So,
Okay.
the stats verdict say that it's a disappointing episode for Return of Doctor Mysterio.
Okay. I'm more interested, rather than the performance of the Return of Doctor Mysterio, I'm more interested in the performance of the Capaldi era. And I think it backs up exactly the conversation that you and I were having before this show, which was, you think both of us, we both love Peter Capaldi's
Yes.
tenure. But there's a lot of people that struggle with him, mainly because I don't know. I think they just want to see David Tennant type Doctor again. They want to see a dashing young Doctor running around, and I think having the older guy, however good Capaldi is,
Yes.
I think it's alienated quite a lot of the fan base.
It has, yeah, it has split them.
And I don't just mean people that think, oh, David Tennant's good looking, but I think a lot of the kids as well.
Yeah.
Their expectation is that a hero should be a good-looking younger guy that's racing around saving the universe.
It doesn't. But
I think I'm generalising here.
yeah.
I do think that's, and I think the people that really have liked Capaldi tend to be largely, I guess, people that appreciate him for his acting and things like that. Ahead of that, the story bit interests me because a lot of people have made the comment that they think the quality of story writing has deteriorated.
I know.
And I really struggle with that.
I know it hasn't really.
I think there are issues. I think throughout the whole of the New Who era, this is not just Capaldi, not just Stephen Moffat, but right back through to RTD. I think we have had this issue where if you're stuck in a hole, just get the sonic screwdriver out and we can save it with that. And I think that is something.
I
that
just
is a
think
problem with
people
the
are
series.
blaming Moffat for everything.
Yeah, no, I think there is that.
I think give Moffat a chance, people. Give him a chance. It's his last year. You can cope with him for 1 year, surely, guys, without complaining too much.
I think.
Unless he does something ridiculous that even we think's ridiculous.
I still think if you look at it on paper and list down all of the David Tennant episodes, are they really better?
No, they're
Are
not.
they really
Fear
better?
Her, Love and Monsters,
I know,
you know,
you've
we've
got
got...
You've got some really rubbish and bland episodes in
Yeah,
there.
New Earth people hate.
The whole
you
of
know,
that first series with him in, or not the whole of it, but the majority of that
Yeah,
first season
let me
with him is a
think.
little bit
Yeah,
iffy,
the Idiot's
isn't it?
Lantern people hate.
Yeah.
You know, you've got stories in there which, you know, people don't like.
But for whatever reason, Tennant as the Doctor hit a chord that people could associate with, and they liked it. They liked him, didn't they?
Yeah.
I guess he comes over as a likeable guy. I think with Capaldi they have done some odd things insofar as I think they bravely, when they cast Capaldi, they wanted him to be a more difficult Doctor. They wanted him to be a bit more aggressive.
Well, his era has been divisive, apparently. The most divisive of
Yeah.
New Who.
Yeah, no, that doesn't surprise me. But I think the very nature of the fact that the first series, they tried to set him up as being fairly stroppy, a little bit more like how they did with Colin Baker, I guess,
Yes.
going back that time. They realised, come the end of it, that I think people were struggling with that. So then they've done the complete opposite and now tried to make him quite jovial. And so there is an odd behavioural slant.
There
I
is,
think.
yeah. He has gone a bit weird in terms of
Yeah.
how he behaves.
But from an acting perspective, I think he's clearly demonstrated that it doesn't matter. You can
No.
put him in either of those types of roles, and he's actually brilliant in both.
Well, I do actually love stats, I must say.
Yeah,
Because they do spark quite a bit of discussion, and
they do. Yeah,
they do give us some intriguing insights at some of the episodes and doctors and some interesting things.
it does sadden me though when I look at some of the rough press that Capaldi does get, predominantly from the Who fan base, because I don't think if you look at it in the context of reviews and things, the reviews always go on about, from the papers and things like that, always going on about how great Capaldi is.
Yes.
But there's definitely a split divide in the fan base.
Yeah, there are. Class then.
Yep. What we got about Class?
Class. It aired on BBC One this week,
Oh, did it?
as you people
Oh, no, I
may
missed
know.
that.
On Monday. It's going to... it's on in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
4 weeks worth of 2 slots. So it's on at a very late night viewing.
Yeah.
From 10:45 p.m. to 12:15 a.m. So an hour and a half every Monday. So they showed For Tonight We Might Die on Monday at 10:45, and that one was the one that featured a guest appearance from Capaldi. It had an estimated viewing audience of 0.94 million viewers, a 10% share of the total TV audience. The rating is below the channel average of 1.64 million for the time slot, but the drama rated higher than BBC Two's Newsnight with 0.65 million, and ITV's 3 The Keyhole, which had 0.75 million. But the top for the time slot was Channel 4 reality TV series First Dates Hotel, which had 1.37 million watching.
What's wrong with you people?
I know. Watch Class instead. Episode 2, Coach of the Dragon Tattoo, followed immediately afterwards, starting at 11:40, but only managed to get 0.39 million, a share of 7.4% of the audience.
I'm not surprised at that time of night.
No. The ratings were less than the average for the time slot for BBC One, which is 0.64 million. Class did outrate programmes on the other 4 main channels, winning the time slot though. Class has been available on the BBC Three online channel since October, where the episodes have around 200,000 viewers. Final official ratings should be available in about 2 weeks' time.
Okay, that's going to be an interesting one to look out for. So, what is clear there? Can you just go back to that article again?
Yeah.
What was the so if you take episode 1,
Yeah.
what was the number of viewers on that live?
0.94.
0.94. So it had more people watching it on BBC Two, substantially more than what had watched it on iPlayer.
Yes.
So if we're talking about 200,000 per episode
Yes.
on the iPlayer, which is it's quite low actually. I don't know how that is in the context of other stuff on BBC Three.
Yeah, it failed to make it into like the top 40
Did it?
in shows.
Of what on BBC Three?
Overall on iPlayer.
Oh right, okay, yeah. I do think as well though. I think the BBC have sold it the duff one. I mean, I don't watch much TV, so I might be completely wrong in this, and you'll correct me.
Yes.
Have they advertised it at all? Really?
Yes, they have.
Okay.
Not for
I was thinking about for this time out.
Oh no.
So
Haven't seen it advertised.
in itself, that's quite odd. It's as if.
Because they know hardly anyone's going to watch it at 10:45.
Yeah, and I don't think they necessarily. They might have advertised the first episode.
Yeah.
They didn't really advertise it anymore, did they, on the BBC?
They did advertise the first one with the. I remember them advertising the one, the co-owner of the Lonely Heart one.
I wonder how into it the BBC are.
I remember the sword thing in the trailer, but
It'd be interesting to I still think the BBC's got issues at the moment. I think that's clear.
Well, what I was going to say is that's fine. BBC, it's 2 sort of failed viewing. Like BBC Three on iPlayer is going to fail ahead of other things, and the late night, the very late night time slot for definitely episode 2 is going to affect the viewing as well.
But what I struggle with that time slot is essentially it is based in a school, okay?
Yes.
The people that therefore are going to be predominantly interested in it are going to be
Young
probably
adults.
it's going to be young adults of a sort of your age upwards. Okay?
Yes.
So you're looking sort of teenage
Yes.
years, yeah? Probably more so the sort of later school years, the last
16.
2-3 years, yeah.
Probably like 15 or.
Are that many of them going to be up still at 11:40 or whatever time was you said that was on?
Well, quite a lot of adults aren't up at 11.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I really struggle with the timing on it, and I don't think I know it had a few things in it. There's some of the stuff around sexuality, some of the stuff around gore, but it's not substantial, and I really struggle to see why.
There's no like nudity or anything.
No,
really.
I really struggle to see why it has got
Or
quite
swearing apart from in the first one.
But it's minimal.
Little. It's minimal. It's
I
quite.
can't see why it's got as late a rating, and it just seems to me like the BBC have sold it a real duff job.
Yes.
I would love to see how a channel such as Netflix or Amazon Prime would target this same episode, this same series, and I think they would go about it completely differently.
They would, yeah.
And I wonder whether I wonder whether actually realistically, I wonder how Doctor Who would fare. And it's an awful thing to say because Doctor Who's BBC all the way through. I wonder how Doctor Who would fare on Amazon or Amazon.
Amazon or Amazon?
Amazon or Amazon? Sorry, Amazon or Netflix? Sorry.
Okay. Good point. Good point.
Yeah. I think it would get a lot more care and attention. One way you can tell, if you look at the ratings of Doctor Who, as we did earlier,
Yes.
on Amazon, on Netflix, it's got 5 stars.
Yes, it has.
Whereas,
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get to say I watched Stranger Things or Sherlock.
You didn't, did you?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mentioned you watching Sherlock a little bit.
Yeah.
Didn't
It was good though.
you? Yeah. And you said you're enjoying Stranger Things as well.
I am. Yes.
I haven't seen that yet.
So Doctor Who magazine, issue 508 was out this week, and it's a magazine looking back at the Doctor Who's grooviest decade, and that's the 1970s, which we're focusing on
We will be
today.
focusing, yes.
The magazine has brought together actress Katie Manning, who played Jo Grant, alongside the Third Doctor, with one of her biggest fans, Doctor Who writer and actor Mark Gatiss. Gatiss remembers things in this, like when he first saw Katie on screen in Terror of the Autons. You can read some of the interview in the show notes over at misslewismeanadventures.weebly.com. Also in this issue, Terence Dix is interviewed, and that is a chat with Doctor Who's masterful writer, genius script editor, prolific novelist, and creator of the Time Lords. Also, there's an explanation of how Doctor Who reflected the real world during the 1970s. A walk back to revisit what was happening in a single month in Doctor Who history, November 1977. That's a new feature where they go back and look at a single month and look at what happened in it.
Okay, yeah.
There's part 1 of a brand new comic strip set in 1973 called Doorway to Hell. 1970s Doctor Who meets Gothic horror as the TARDIS lands on Khan in this issue's fact and fiction, The Brain of Morbius. A look back at the 2016 Christmas special, The Return of Dr. Mysterio, plus all the latest audio releases, and a look back at all the latest Doctor Who CDs, to all of the latest Doctor Who CDs and comic book releases coming soon. Plus, there's a free Doctor Who comic with it, Sub-Zero, featuring the Third Doctor and the Daleks, originally presented in 1972. Looks really cool.
Oh, fantastic! So
It is.
So it is an old comic.
Yes,
From
but
the original.
they've rebranded
Oh
it.
wow, that's brilliant.
I know. I've
that's
got it
brilliant, I love that.
upstairs. Yeah. Doctor Who magazine 508 is out now, priced $5.99.
Fantastic. I love the cover.
Yes.
The cover's brilliant.
Me too. Yes. Which one?
The I like the poetry one.
Yes.
Yeah. So
That's the actual cover, though.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's just the slip back cover thing.
Okay. Do you have any other news? So
We have one bit of
me
news.
that we've gone 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks without a single Lethbridge Stewart novel released.
I know. Big Finish have announced 2 new short stories
Ooh.
exploring short but important chapters, in the Eighth Doctor's involvement with the Time War. With the universe fracturing around him in the crossfire of the Time War, the Eighth Doctor has turned his back on his people, choosing to help those suffering from their actions. But what happens when events of the Time War touch upon those he's known and cared for? 2 new Doctor Who short trips in the autumn of 2017 explore what it means for former companions when the Time War influences reach their lives. Let me find some more details.
That sounds brilliant. So are these ones to download for free, or are these got costs?
No,
associated?
these have a cost.
They do have cost.
They're like £2.99.
Okay.
So one of them is called A Heart on Both Sides, and this is out in September, and it's Sarah Sutton is the narrator in this one.
Okay, Sarah Sutton being.
Nyssa.
Ah.
So it's interesting to see her. It's actually her carrying on with her medical work on Terminus, but she's sent to Gallifrey to
Okay, so she's narrating it,
Yes.
but is it just her in it?
Yes.
Just her narrating. So
Yes,
she's narrating
it
the
is.
story. It's not like her with other actors.
No.
Okay.
They're quite different, these ones.
Yeah.
The second story follows in October with All Hands on Deck. This is written by Eddie Robson, and this is read by Carol Ann Ford, who plays Susan.
Oh, right, okay.
So this one's her on Earth, and then she's got Dalek technology that she's found. We've also got an August release that has been announced for the Patrick Troughton Doctor for the short trips range, called The British Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's narrated by Wendy Padbury, aka Zoe.
Okay, that's cool, isn't it?
Then we've got the Ingenious Gentleman Adric of Alzarius, which is out in November, and that's got Matthew Waterhouse as the...
Surprise?
Yes. Then the first 2018 release has also been announced.
Okay.
For The Authentic Experience, which is going to be out in January 2018 and is narrated by Nicola Bryan, aka Perry.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Have you ever listened to any of these?
I haven't listened to Short Trips, no.
No.
Forever Fallen was a short trip,
What's that?
but I never got to download it.
Okay.
Free one.
Yeah. Ooh. Call yourself a Who fan. Boo.
Probably still on there, don't boo me.
Any other news, or should we crack on with our main item?
Yes, let's crack on with our main item.
Which is?
Our 6-episode challenge on the 70s. Welcome then to the 6-episode challenge. Now, the 6-episode challenge is a thing where we look back and we think about 6 episodes. So, in the decade of the 70s, we're going through, and we've landed in the 70s this week. We are picking out 6 episodes for our favourites. We're going to try and shift each other's, and then we'll try and do a definitive 3 list.
This will be quite a challenging one, won't it? Because I think it's probably fair to say that even going right up to into New Who, the 70s is probably the best era
Yes.
of Doctor Who.
Yes.
I would suggest.
Yes, it probably is.
So there's a greater number of episodes here. So it'd be interesting to see what our top 6 are, how similar they are,
Yes.
and then how we get on with the challenging.
Okay then. Yeah.
So first of all, did you want to say what your favourite 6 are?
Yes. So, I have Genesis of the Daleks.
Yep.
Talons of Wang Chiang.
Yep.
Inferno.
Yep.
Spearhead from Space.
Yep.
Seeds of Doom.
Yep.
And the Diamonds.
Okay, that's interesting. There's a certain commonality there with mine. Shall I just read mine out?
Yes.
Next, so my favourite 6 episodes, and there will be a few that I haven't seen. So Spearhead, for
Yeah.
instance, I've not
And
seen.
Seeds of Doom.
And Siege of Doom, yeah. I have got as my top 6: Genesis of the Daleks, Talons of Wang Chiang,
Yeah.
City of Death,
Oh,
Inferno, Robots of Death, and Invasion of the Dinosaurs.
I'm an idiot, aren't I? I forgot 3 of those.
Which
I didn't even put any of them in my runner-up section. You had to
So,
make up runners-up.
in that instance, I'm going to challenge you and
Where's
say,
the pen? Can I have
and
the
say,
pen,
and
please?
say, what on earth are you doing
Thanks.
not having City of Death and Robots of Death in your chart? What's going on? What's going on, boy?
I forgot about them.
I think, let's have a quick look at your chart again. I would challenge you that both City of Death and Robots of Death, and I know you really like the Diamonds,
Yes.
I reckon both of them are better than the Diamonds.
Okay then. What
Do you-
was your
Would you agree though, or not?
Yes. What was your other choice?
Invasion of the Dinosaurs, so you're not meant to see my challenge list.
No.
So I went Genesis the Daleks, Talons of Weng-Chiang, City of Death, Inferno,
Oh yeah,
Robots of
Inferno,
Death,
sorry.
and Invasion of the Dinosaurs. So 3 of them we've agreed
You
on.
saw my challenge.
Oh no, I haven't looked. Sorry.
Oh no, that isn't my challenge list
Yeah.
for you actually.
Yeah. So I think 3 of them we agree on, unless one of those is forcing yours out.
I'm going to put City of Death in against Seeds of Doom.
Yeah. Now see, I can't. I can only semi-challenge that because I can't remember Seeds of Doom.
Okay, that's the Crinoid one.
Okay. Interestingly, I wrote down 3 challenge pieces, three challenge episodes, and you've got 2 of them in your top 6. I had the Diamonds and I had Spearhead from Space in my things to challenge you with.
Okay.
I also think Robots of Death needs to be in your chart somewhere.
I do, and that might replace the Diamond, but
Which one got knocked out by City of Death again? City of Doom. Sorry, yeah.
I like Invasion of the Dinosaurs as well.
Yeah. Weird thing about Invasion of the Dinosaurs, it's not particularly high, is it, on the overall charts when you look at things like the Doctor Who magazine charts. But I love it. I absolutely loved Invasion of the Dinosaurs. You know, plastic dinosaurs aside, the effects are obviously dated, but it's just a brilliant one. I had a feeling as well that when you read yours out, that it was going to be very heavy on John Pertwee.
Yes.
Because you have a bit of a thing about
I
John
do
Pertwee's
have the
era.
John Pertwee era as a particular favourite era of mine.
Yeah.
It
So-
probably might be, as an overall era, from start to finish,
Yeah.
it is the best era.
You think so?
Tom Baker, even if you take his first 5 series,
Yeah.
they're not as strong as the 5 series we've got in John Pertwee.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? But I would argue that if you went for the strongest series, it would probably be Tom Baker's first or second series.
True that it would be the first series,
Mhm.
but as an overall era, I'm saying,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, season 7, John Pertwee's first. I love season 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So we're in a position then where actually we are agreeing on 5 of our episodes, aren't we? So we've got Genesis of the Daleks agreed,
yes,
Talons of Weng-Chiang agreed,
yes,
City of Death agreed,
yes,
Inferno agreed,
yes,
Robots of Death agreed.
yes.
What's
I
your
need to
what's your other one? Spearhead.
Spearhead, you'd know where you're shifting that.
So I can't tempt you with Invasion of the Dinosaurs then. So
No,
Invasion of the
sorry.
Dinosaurs is good,
no
but
way,
not as good.
No way you're shifting Spearhead.
So we're not going to be able to get to an agreed top 6, and I think
No.
it was always unlikely we would do because of the pure quality. Can I throw in the one that I was going to challenge you with?
Yes.
And I don't think it will knock out anything you've got in there already.
Okay.
But I was going to say Terror of the Zygons.
No.
No, not even close.
No.
I was trying to think of other John Pertwee ones that potentially could knock it out.
Right, here, I've got the list before I remembered the Invasion of the Dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Gonna change this slightly.
yeah.
Gonna
This is your
put-
challenge list, is it?
Yeah. I'm gonna put... this is my challenge list for myself.
Okay.
So, I always do these.
Okay. What have you got as your
can I-
challenge list for yourself?
Let me put the Invasion of the Dinosaurs. So, Invasion of the Dinosaurs,
Mhm.
Brain of Morbius, Pyramids of Mars, Planet of the Spiders, The Green Death, and I've got as a sort of guilty pleasure choice here, Time Monster.
I was trying to think of the Time Monster for my challenge list for you, but I couldn't think of the name of it. But I thought that would be...
I only like that
thereabouts.
one so much is because it's so good that and people think it's so bad.
It's a little bit like my... people don't necessarily think it's bad, but it's a little bit like my guilty pleasure's Colony in Space.
So
which I
they
really,
think
really
it's
like.
200th in the list.
Yeah,
Yeah, people think Time Monster's 222nd.
yeah. But I think Colony in Space is my guilty pleasure.
Hmm.
So, there's no way we're going to get an agreed 6.
Got
Can we come up with an agreed 2? Can we come up with a top 2?
3.
Is it 3 we did last time? was
Yeah.
it? Yeah, okay. A top 3. I think I can come up with my favourite 3 of those.
Right, I can come up with Genesis.
I would agree, because Genesis is probably the best episode ever.
I can come up with, yes it is, Talon.
Talon's definitely would be there for me as well.
I'm going to say Inferno.
I was going to say Inferno as well.
Yeah.
So we've got 3, and I think actually it's a short writing than it normally is because we've been so agreeable on it.
Yeah.
I would suggest that the best episode, if we were looking at the best episode from the 70s, we will agree on that as well.
Genesis.
Because it's going to be Genesis of the Daleks.
Because it's our favourite episode of all time.
Yeah. So at the moment then, so the 1960s we've got Power of the Daleks.
Yes.
1970s we've got Genesis of the Daleks. I sense a theme coming on here.
Yeah.
Will that go on into the 80s?
You haven't seen... the only one you've seen from the 80s is the... as Daleks is Resurrection, and that's not really going to get to the top, I don't think.
No, indeed.
It's going to be hard to think of a top one for the 80s.
I'm looking forward for that challenge, actually.
Yes, that's really going to be quite a challenge.
Yeah, no, I think it will be.
Because there's quite a lot of meh episodes that taken up a lot by meh episodes.
I've got in my head that I know what the top one will be, but I'm not going to mention it now. I'm pretty sure I know what it will be.
I'm pretty sure I've got it in my head.
Yeah.
But it may...
It'd be nice... hello, listeners. It'd be
Hello.
very nice if, as you know, Lewis runs an active Twitter account. I very occasionally write things on there myself. But we would love to hear what your favourite episodes of the 70s are. What do you think of our top 3?
You could let us know at DRWho. Time as in N space.
Okay.
Like N space from the Key to Time stories. Not Key to Time stories, the N space trilogy. I never thought of that. Time and space. N space.
See, it immediately N space. You're clicking that pen again. I'm going to ban you from pens.
N space, yes.
I always think of N space, just immediately sounds like M people or something like that to me. It sounds like a sort of pop group of the 90s.
For me, it sounds like the Tom Baker land in N space.
That was a good article. That I think we were very, very close on the.
We were, apart from that one. What was it that you had that we did?
I had Invasion of the Dinosaurs. And
and I had
Spearhead. It'd be interesting once I've watched Spearhead to see whether that comes in there.
Invasion of the Dinosaurs is brilliant, but I love Spearhead. Can't shift. You know, it's the first one of the 70s.
And some of the ones that you've got on your challenge list, your challenges for yourself, I've not actually seen. So I like Pyramids of Mars, but I don't like it as much as the ones I've got. Brain of Morbius is one I really would like to see.
Yeah, I like that one.
So it'd be interesting to see whether any of those change my list, because it was only recently that we watched City of Death. The other interesting thing about both of our lists there, if you take City of Death out of the equation, the rest of them are very early 70s.
Yes.
Yeah?
Robots of Death isn't.
What years are
1977.
Oh, is it? Okay. So I'm talking rubbish then. Well, on that note, with me talking rubbish as I always do.
You're forever talking rubbish, as your Skype says.
Yes, indeed. So if we stopped the show at any time I spoke rubbish, it would only ever be 1 minute long.
Okay, so now then, it's time to move from the 70s actually to the 2010s. Now we are going into our review of the Rings of Akhaten. So then, this week, or last week, the randomizer picked out for us a Matt Smith story. So that's the 11th Doctor. That story was the story after the Bells of St. John.
Which was odd because we'd had the Bells of St. John the previous week,
Yes,
hadn't
we had the Bells
purely by random.
St. John last week to review. So the randomizer picked out the Rings of Akhaten, an episode which we said last week we haven't been as excited for watching it as we sometimes are for these randomizers. Can you please read us a little bit of a synopsis for the Rings of Akhaten?
I can do that. I can do one better than that.
Can you?
Because I'm not going to read anything. I'm going to give you my own blurb off the top of my head.
Oh, I loaded up Wikipedia.
I always use Wikipedia as a prompt. I just don't read it. I just have that there in the background so I can give you an idea, but I never read it.
Really?
I make it up. I just read bits. So.
How come you're looking right now?
No, because I do use it to prompt myself, and then I put it in my own words. This is how clever Dr. Cool is. Dr. Cool does not read the Wikipedia synopsis. He reads it in his brain and then splurges it out in his own language. Live, here, now, starting with this week, I've got all confused. What am I about? Rings of Akhaten. This one follows on from what we saw with the Bowels of St. John. So the Doctor had actually met Clara, and there's obviously a lot of confusion here because he'd met her previously, and on both occasions she'd died, and he's still very, very confused as to who this mystery girl is. He decides to actually go back into time to actually discover her past, and we saw at the end of, or at some point in Bowels of St. John, the reference to the leaf.
Yes.
This story starts off with that leaf. Clara described it as being the first page in a story. What we find out at the beginning of this episode is a random bloke is walking down the road. A leaf blows off, not farts, blows off the tree, lands into his... that was the end of it. That sounds a little bit like whatever it was we had in class.
Yeah, the killer flower petals.
Killer flower petals and the farting leaves. So the leaf flies off from the tree, catches him in the face, and he very nearly is knocked over to this woman, dives in like Supergirl, rescues him from the fate, and we discover that basically this is what will eventually become Clara's mum and dad. The Doctor's sort of in the background witnessing this, and he witnesses a few things throughout Clara's early childhood, including a moment where we see Clara and her dad standing over the grave of their mother, who died at the age of 45. Next on, we see we sort of cue music. We then see the Doctor whisking Clara off. She says she wants to see something exciting, so he takes her to the Rings of Akhaten. And
she says something awesome.
Something awesome, that's right, yeah. So he takes her to the Rings of Akhaten, and which are this set of planetoids are orbiting a planet, and there's a shiny pyramid on top of one of them. And it's all to do with this sort of, I think there's sort of 7 planets, is it something like that? 7 planets where everyone comes together to watch this occasion.
Yeah.
Clara wants to see more, so they go to this big alien marketplace. See quite a lot of really cool looking creatures walking around, and then the Doctor sort of disappears as is his wont, leaving Clara on her own for a second, and she sees this very young girl, Mary Gillette. Was it Gillette or Gillette?
Gahal.
Mary Gahal, and she introduces herself as the Queen of Years. Clara tries to find out a little bit more about it, and it turns out that Mary is going to be singing this song at a ceremony, and she's really, really scared because she doesn't want to get it wrong, because it's all about trying to keep this sort of mummy type creature that could devour the universe or whatever, trying to keep it asleep. So Clara manages to persuade her that there's no way she's gonna do this wrong, and then next thing I think we see after that is then the Doctor and Clara sat down ready to watch this great spectacle, and at which point it turns into something very, very similar to Sounds of Music or Paint Your Wagon. And is that probably
paint you.
is that enough as a bit of an explanation?
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of before we really find out too much about things, but all that is clear is that, as you would expect with Doctor Who, things don't go smoothly. She doesn't just sing a song, and then stuff happens.
And then she says, "In the sound of music." No,
it's an odd episode, isn't it? What are your thoughts on it? Full stop.
I think that this is not a great episode for me. It's Doctor Who with singing, which is actually my worst nightmare. Yeah. I must say that I hate it when definitely things which don't suit singing have singing in.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of like films when they have singing in.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember when I watched this, when it first came on,
Yes.
I loved the first half, and I still really love the first half. All the stuff when they arrive on Akhaten, and
The monsters are so cool.
the monsters are really cool, and it reminds me very much of the Tatooine sequences in Star
New
Wars,
Hope, yeah.
which is probably all the bits on Tatooine are always my favourite bits in all the episodes. I love the bits when they're walking around. There's all these various different monsters there.
The cantina sequence is actually my favourite scene in the Star Wars film.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I love all those bits when you've got not just one species of monster, but loads of species of monsters walking around, and it really reminds me of that. So I really love that bit. And I remember liking that the first time around. As soon as I think the bit where I lost interest the first time around was as soon as the singing started.
When the man's going around.
Yeah.
And saying, "Roar."
And all of a sudden it's like I've got no idea what's going on now. What's going on? This is messing with my brain. This isn't Genesis of the Daleks. You know, and it stayed.
Oh, a deer, female deer.
And I never really got back into the episode from that point onwards, because even when all the stuff happens, spoiler alert, when we find out that firstly we've got the sort of mummy type thing trying to escape from the glass box,
Vampire mummy
the vampire mummy thing, and the big planet that devours.
Yeah.
I just never got back into it from then.
Neither did I.
It
It was an episode which I failed to like. It's actually my worst nightmare. One of my worst nightmares to have Doctor Who with singing in. It's like Star Wars has Disney now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like I was glad. It's good that they didn't make it into a typical Disney film.
I think so. There's bits of it I really like, and I probably enjoyed it more the second time round watching it today than I did watching it the first time round, because I think the first time round it was what's going on? I sort of had a feeling that I'd fallen asleep and I had some weird dream going on.
Well, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it less because you see, I knew that it was terrible. So at least when I watched it the first time, I actually had hope for it.
It was weird though, because I do really love the opening sequence on it. If we were rating opening bits and second part, first halves and second halves, I would give the first half quite a good score, because it's a good idea for the story. I love the idea, the fact that they've been worshipping this god, but it's not really a god. It's just like a soul sucking parasite thing.
We've got
I think that's brilliant. I really like that, but I hate all the bit. I think the introduction bit with introducing Clara to it, I think is very nice. The whole idea of the leaf is very, very nice. I hate the bit towards the end though, when the Doctor does that big speech. And I know a lot of people like this big speech, but I really hate that big speech that he's giving to the planet.
I love the big speech that he gives to the planet. I don't like the big planet, but I like the speech he gives. I think it's a very good speech.
Yes, I don't like it.
Oh, don't you?
No, I don't like that bit, and I don't like the resolution on it, and I particularly don't like the fact that the final bit of the resolution is Clara holding the leaf up and the leaf gets...
No, I don't like that bit, but I do like the speech.
Yeah, well, I don't.
It's a good speech.
It might be a good speech, I just think it's a real weak get out.
But it's a good speech, that's all that matters.
So... I don't really like that, and the other thing that gets me with this episode is I hate the bit when they're driving around on that mopedy thing, the space moped, because again, like with the Battles of St John's, I'm thinking, use a TARDIS, just turn up. I've seen you do it before, Doctor, where you materialise the TARDIS.
But it's like overusing the sonic. You need to do different things.
Yeah, I can see that, but just logically, we've seen him materialise the TARDIS before over exact people. He could have done that there and then.
He could have done.
And there's something about the effects in this episode are really good generally. Actually, it looks brilliant. It looks really brilliant.
Wait, if they'd done that, by the way, it would only be about 25 minutes. There would be no actual problem. They would not be stuck in that room or anything.
Yeah, I can see why. A little bit like with Battles of St John. we've got to remember sometimes it's fiction, isn't it? And
Yes.
a bit obviously it's fairly fictional to be able to materialise the TARDIS around something, to be fair. But the one bit where the effects do look a bit weak, and I really hate this bit, is the bit where Clara says about not leaving people on their own or whatever, or will we never run away, and then you see her coming back to get the Doctor on that sort of space mopedy bit, and that bit looks a bit naff.
It does, yeah, I think that.
And do you know, I'm half expecting to see Brian Blessed and a whole load of Hawkmen flying behind her, because it looks reminiscent of something out of the Flash Gordon movie, that bit.
This is not a particular favourite of mine. This is not one I would definitely go and watch.
It's not a favourite of mine, but I enjoyed watching it again today.
I prefer Bells of St John. I know some people aren't fond of Bells of St John, but I much prefer it than this.
Yeah, it's a very
family.
There's a certain mediocrity that runs through season 7, with a few exceptions.
Yes.
Looking at it in hindsight, I loved series 7 when it came out, but I think then that was with my sort of it's a new episode. You always get that excitement about new episodes,
do,
don't you? And everything seems great about it generally. But when you look back on these things, you then start to look at it a bit more in comparison to other things. And I think when you look at season 7 as a season, there's a lot of mediocrity in it.
There's dinosaurs on the spaceship. I mean, Town Called Mercy, I'm not a big fan of.
I do like that one.
Oh yeah. I like Paris 3. Rings of Akhaten, Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS, Nightmare in Silver.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of mediocrity. And this probably is one of them, isn't it? I mean, earlier on we started listing our episodes, and when we sort of said, well, actually, if we take the 94 episodes we've watched so far, since we started doing the randomizer, and we added a colour coding into it, didn't we? So we've now got green means classic, then we've got sort of like normal good episodes. Then we've got a sort of indifferent, and then we've got a poor.
And actually,
this fits into the indifferent category.
Yes, and that means that it's 84th for me, and 83rd for Decor. The indifferent category is from 91 to 78 for me, and from 90 to 80 for Decor.
Yeah. So. Well, at some point or other, perhaps we'll share that with you. Might be able to do that, perhaps on the version on your website.
Yes.
Add the colour coding.
At michelin-adventures.weebly.com.
Because you can always see our rating on there. So, so both of us, I think it's probably fair to say, aren't 100% on it. I'm going to ask you this question now.
Okay.
Too good, too bad.
Okay.
What are 2 good things about this episode, and what are 2 bad things?
Good. The look of the episode.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think we've talked a fair bit about all the monsters walking around. There's some really cool monsters as well.
There are, yeah.
My good would be very linked to the bad, but whilst I don't like it in the episode, in terms of the whole singing stuff, I really love the piece of music for the long song or whatever it's called.
Yes, the long song.
I think that is a beautiful.
It is a beautiful piece of music.
So that is good.
Yes, but
too bad.
But yes, the music focus of the episode and the other uses of music in this.
Yeah.
Just frustrates me.
I would agree with that. For my too bad. There's a couple of ththings on there. What do I go for? I mean, I've mentioned already about overuse of the what do you call it, sonic screwdriver, and a little bit of a weak get out for the episode.
And an underuse of the villains.
I think that's what I was settled on. I think is you've got those really cool looking villains, the Vigil.
Yes, the Vigil.
They look brilliant, and I would like to see more of them.
Me too.
So
they have quite cool powers as well.
Yeah, and they've got. It's quite that bit in that little bit in the second half, because I'm not very keen on the second half, but that little bit in it, I think is quite exciting.
It is.
But I'd like to see more of the Vigil. More Vigil, please.
More Vigil.
So any more thoughts on the Rings of Akhaten?
I don't think so. What scores?
What about, just very quickly, what do you think of Matt Smith and what do you think of Clara?
Matt Smith's, it's not one of his standout stories, but he's okay. And Jenna Coleman, she's quite good, you know.
Yes.
Clara's first story on an alien planet, you know, she shows sort of amazement at some of this, but you can tell Bill will show even more.
I think it's a typical second story of a new companion.
It is, yeah.
Sort of feel to it, isn't it? It's very similar in many respects to the second episode that Rose had.
End of the World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In its feel.
Yes.
That whole thing of, hey, come and look at a great sight. So swap End of the World for the Rings of Akhaten and lots of monsters. It's the first time you see aliens, lots of different species.
Well, the next time we're going to get a wonderful sight is the Emoji Planet.
Yay! But you know what I mean? There is quite a commonality, isn't there, between both those stories in terms of the trying to introduce. I think it's the Doctor's chat-up thing. It's like the guy that has his ex-girlfriend, and he on their second date he took her to a curry house. When he meets another girlfriend, he thinks, "Oh, we had a great night at the time when I took that girl to the curry house. I think I'll take my new girlfriend to the curry house as well." And I think the Doctor does that a little bit with exploding planets and things, and places with lots of different types of monsters walking around. I've gone off on a tangent. You better do these scores.
Well, the lady in the curry house.
Yeah.
Says
she's 8, I'd say, the lady in the curry house.
She's actually let us know what she thought.
Oh, really?
And she said that the Rings of Akhaten was rubbish. It was we can't use it because it's explicit. So, scores. Character development.
It gives us that whole introduction to Clara. So I guess it's probably an 8.
Monsters and villains.
Monsters and villains. It's a really tough one to score, really, this one for monsters and villains, because there's loads of them in it. If you're looking at it on the pure spectacle of them, it's really high.
Did you say 8 for character development?
Yes, I did.
Yes, sorry.
But I think in terms of use of the monsters here, it's not as high as that. So I'm going to say 7.
Yes. Excitement.
It's not overly exciting, is it? Really.
No.
It's not very exciting at all. I'm going to give it a 6.
Yes. Pace.
Pace is alright. It's sort of like a 6.
To work this out there. Okay. And story.
Story. I think actually, and we'll probably disagree on this. I think the story itself, the concept of the story, is better than how it actually plays out on the screen. Just because of they use it a lot. The whole thing about the importance of music is actually used a lot in things like Tolkien's world, which, but it seems to work better when you read it. I'm going to start to give it a 6.
I think that's like 33 out of.
Yeah, it's quite low,
50.
isn't it? It's not often we get into the
Yeah.
6s. Overall story, I'd probably say it's probably a 6.5,
Yes.
something like that.
You can't. What overall is
Yeah.
episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the Rings of Akhaten.
Yes. Let's hope we get a better story next week.
But I did not enjoy watching it.
No.
I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, me too.
The
only one we've got in this series is named the Doctor.
Yeah, which would be interesting because that's probably the best in the series, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
By far,
in
so.
Series 7B.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
So I am looking forward for that one coming up. Well, let's see what does come up, shall we?
Yes.
So in terms of the randomizer, did you want to explain it?
Randomizer. Excel spreadsheet. We've got every single story of Doctor Who in there. We click a button, a little macro, and we find out what story we'll be watching and reviewing next week.
So, as the randomizer name would suggest, it's completely random.
Right.
So, what have we got?
Okay.
Okay, it's interesting. So this is from the same series again, isn't it?
This is from Series 7, but not from 7B.
Okay, and it is?
The Angels Take Manhattan.
Excellent.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what already. I have seen actually Angels Take Manhattan. I've seen twice, I think.
Have you?
I think so. Yeah.
Where did you watch it again?
Don't know. Maybe I have only seen it once. I've got a feeling I've seen it twice though.
Okay.
I know for a fact. I really like it.
This might be my favourite Series 7 story. No, Name of the Doctor might be better.
There's one thing in this story, and we'll talk about it next week, no doubt. There's one thing that I really hate about this story. But aside, if you take that out of it, I'll tell you now. But everyone will have forgotten by next week anyway.
Okay.
I really hate the bit with the Statue of Liberty.
Oh yeah.
I hate that bit. I hate that nearly as much as I hate that bit in the next Doctor. The next Doctor with the big side.
Yes. But it is a good story for the Weeping Angels.
But it is. It's a great story and a great feel to it.
It's better than the other one with the Weeping Angels and Matt Smith.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yes.
But we'll talk about that more next week.
Yes, we'll talk about
Thinking about next week.
What have we got there?
Got?
It's on Sunday.
It will be on Sunday, right?
It is on. We will be taking a move forward due to Deagle's commitments. We will be going to, just for 1 week only, to Sunday the 22nd of January 2017.
Yep.
And that is when we will be doing episode 195.
Oh,
and
so we'll be on 195.
So on 195, we will be taking a look back at some of at our 6 favourite episodes from the 1980s.
We will be reviewing The Angels Take Manhattan.
We will be taking a look back at the latest news and views.
We'll be pressing the magic randomizer.
And the chances are we won't have a 3-minute rant.
No, we probably won't, will we?
No.
We were talking actually. We had a brainwave just very briefly because I think we've got time.
You had a brainwave?
I was talking this in the royal we.
Oh yes.
That because we've been struggling of late to do 3-minute rants and whatever the other section's called, the Who to Face.
Who to Face, yeah.
What we're probably going to do is release those as separate.
Unless we have time ever.
Yeah, if we get time, we'll fit one in. But they're good sections of the show that we just don't seem to fit in here. So we're going to release them as little separate mini episodes periodically during the week.
Yes.
Which I think would be quite cool.
That would be cool. So, contacts. You can contact us on Twitter at drwhotimespace. So that's as in the end space from the Fourth Doctor story.
If you want to get hold of me, you can get hold of me as Mark Freak Geek, and that's Mark with a C.
And you could let us know there what you thought of your 6 favourites from the 70s, or your favourite from the 70s or 80s. You can let us know what you thought of both the Rings of Akhaten and the Angels Take Manhattan, and any news or views that you have this week, or anything else that you would like to contact us for Doctor Who, or any other thing that you want to talk to us about. Brilliant.
Thanks as ever for listening to the show. We've enjoyed doing it. I hope you've enjoyed listening to it.
We hope you have, yes.
And we'll look forward to speaking to you again next Sunday.
Yes, next Sunday the 22nd. So, we'll see you next time. Same space. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, good night.